Hello everybody, today we're going to be looking at Quizlet. Quizlet is a online flashcard creator and you can create as many flashcard sets as you want. You can study them on any smartphone, desktop, or tablet, and for easier access you could always just download the Quizlet app. On Quizlet you can search or create new flashcard sets and invite your friends by creating a class to study with them. To create a class, you just click create class and enter a class name, which could be a course, teacher, year, or section. And if you would like, you could also put in a description just so you can say what the class will consist of. And of course, put in your school name just to make it easier for the people, for the new members to find it. And so the first thing I would like to look at is searching for study sets. So let's see, types of weather. So as you can see, a lot of flashcard sets pop up. And what I find cool is that you can tell when a user is a teacher and they have created a set. For example, this one, they would say teacher here, and I suggest you click on the sets, and if you see that this one has everything you need, for example, this one has the clouds, the name of the clouds, what they're made of, their definition, and a picture of the clouds. And it has pictures and definitions for the instruments as well. And so this one seems to have everything you would need. So you could copy the set, share it, or add it to a class or folder, which is what we want to do. So you could create a new class or add it to one that already exists, add to folder, and you can create a new one or have one already made. I had already made one earlier today, and so you could add it whenever there's a plus sign, you add, and whenever you don't need it, you just click the negative or the minus, and it'll discard it from the folder. So let's go back. And you could also create a flashcard set. All you really have to do is put in a title. Let's say numbers in Spanish. Okay. And it gives you the option of who gets to see and edit the flashcard set. So you can change that whenever you want. You could let everyone see it, certain classes, people with a password, or just yourself. We're going to keep it at everyone. And you can also edit who gets to edit the set, and it could be certain classes or people with a password or just me. So we're going to keep it at just me. Save it. You could add an image to label your set. We're not going to do that right now. And you could and then as you start, you just put in a term. We're going to start with 1. And for definition or translation, I'm going to put uno. And as you can see, a few suggestions pop up, and uno is one of them. You could always just turn off the suggestions by clicking here and add an image or add a voice recording. So we want to add an image, and as suggested, I'm going to put the 1. And we're going to do the same for the second term, which is 2. So 2, and then on this side dos, and then we add a number 2 picture, which would be this, and you continue until you're done. You can add a card and as many as you want, and then you click create whenever you're done. So here is my flashcard set. I finished from 1 to 10, and I did the same thing as I did with the first two. I added pictures and did the Spanish translations. So we finished that, and so here we can see options of how we can study and how we can learn by playing. So the first option is flashcards.
3.
So here you can see the 3, and then once you click on the button, it translates it in Spanish and you see the other side of the flashcard. So you do the same with
4.
as you continue, same thing. And if you feel like you're struggling with this flashcard, all you have to do is start, and that'll mean that whenever you go to options, you could only study the ones that you have difficulty with. So you could put all or start, and you could answer with Spanish, English, or both. And you can keep the audio on or turn it off, and you keep going. So as we go back, we could try the learn option. So learn is basically, well, so learn is, it gives you the number or the answer, and then you have to choose which one would go with it. For example, 10. And then it gives you the definition or translation that goes with the term, which is 10. And so on. And then you go to write. And for example, this one is dos. So you would put 2 because you're typing it in English. Then you put answer, and they'll give you the correct, and you did it right. So you continue, and if you don't know the answer, you just put don't know, and it'll give you the correct answer and ask you to write the correct answer as well. And you move on to the next one. And on this one, you could also turn on the audio or start over. So we go back and we go to the next one, which is spelling. Spell.
4.
So here you type what you hear. So 4 is cuatro. So you type in 4 because that's what you heard.
1.
And you keep going. If you were to get it wrong, for example, 1, you misspell 1.
1. O-N-E.
It'll tell
One.
you how to spell it. It'll tell you how to spell it and pronounce it as well. So as we move on, we go to test. And test is more like a standardized test. Is something that you would give your student on as a quiz, and it'll ask you to write the answer or the translation. For example, 10 would be 10, and then it asks you to do it in both English or Spanish. And then as you keep going down, It'll ask you to match the questions, and it'll also have multiple questions and true or false and so on. So it's like a standardized test. And you could also play, which gives you two games. It could be a matching game. So, for example, cuatro, you would match it with 4 and uno, 1 and ocho, 8 and 6, 6, and so on. And then you have gravity, which is another game, and you could do the starred ones, so the ones you have difficulty with. Answer with Spanish, English, or random. And you can select the difficulty, easy, medium, or hard. So start game. So 5 would be cinco, 7, siete, and if you, for example, don't know it and it accidentally slips through, it takes a while. So yeah, so if it goes through, the correct answer was siete, and it'll ask you to write the correct answer, and then you'll continue to play. So those are those study methods and games that you could use. Same thing, you could edit, share, add to class or folder, have info, and other options. You can use Quizlet in many ways in your class. You could ask your students to create an account and create their own study sets, and they could share it by creating a class or adding it to a class that already exists. And you can either grade them on teamwork or on their sets on how detailed they were. It'll also be a cool thing to have in class if you're in a one-to-one classroom set. You could always just ask the students to put up the sets that they did, and you could ask them to switch with a partner, and they could test each other or play games and see who has the highest score or test, and that's a way they could interact with each other and have another set to study from. And that'll be all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.